Welcome to the Full Tracy Money Audio Commentary. This is Owen Tracy recording. It is 3:38 p.m. That is Central Time. Today is April 1st. Well, I thought it was interesting today that despite the fact that it is April 1st, we didn't have too much in the way of comical news stories. And maybe that is as much a commentary on how odd things are right now than anything else. So we're certainly on tenterhooks right now because tomorrow is when the Trump administration are going to announce all of the different tariffs that they've been promising. We've had a significant pullback in lots of globally oriented companies, particularly those in Europe that depend on exports to the USA. So then we have to at least think about the potential repercussions here. The first is that maybe they've pulled back enough already, and that the risk is adequately priced in. The second is that there is an abiding hope within the market that these tariffs are a negotiating strategy, so that they won't in fact go into effect, or if they do, they won't be there for all that long, because there will be some form of consideration extracted from trading partners in favor of the USA, and we'll go back to the status quo. That would perhaps be the most benign scenario given the current backdrop. But then there is the additional potential that this is really only the beginning, and that the Trump administration are depending on the tariffs to deliver additional revenue streams in order to get the wherewithal to cut taxes in the way that they promised. And if that's the case, well, it would obviously be an issue for the exporting sector. Now, when we think about the wider environment, there's also the standards of governance. I'm writing about that in here today. It seems almost prosaic to talk about a normal standard of governance that we should expect from elected officials. One would be that they don't run away with money that's supposed to be provided to staffers in one location and give it to their party apparatchiks domestically. That's what Marine Le Pen has been accused of. And in response, she is facing potential house arrest, as well as the banning of running in fresh elections. So it's very easy to cast that as a political move. But if we look at the kinds of punishment that have been handed down to previous transgressors in the French administrations over the last 20 years, well, jail time hasn't been above the law. And the problem here is that it's very easy to cast it in a partisan manner. But the reality is that what the National Front were doing is illegal, and illegal activity has to go punished. I think that's a pretty basic parameter for a standard of governance. And if it doesn't, well, then that tells us a lot about where the standards of governance reside. Then you have the big question going on right now about what to do with Peak Hegseth, and this discussing of national security data, regardless of whether it is secret or not, or whether it is deemed to be secret retroactively. Well, using your personal phone to do government business just does not seem to be something that is smart. And particularly when there are soldiers' lives that are on the line, when it is invariably true that public officials' data is constantly under surveillance, that their personal phones are more than likely going to be tapped by one security organization or another, and that they are provided with secrecy tools for specifically that reason and choose not to use them. Well, in normal circumstances, you would think that people would lose their job for that. This isn't a story about, having an affair with a mistress or something like that, which really has no bearing on one's ability to do one's job. This is getting really to the heart of the rather